Hey guys, it's Upa here. So today I want to talk about what you should be doing after completing campaign. So most players after completing Hell difficulty stage 12-10, they are really unsure what they should be doing, and well, this video is for you guys. So we are back on my other account which I used to complete campaign quite a long time ago now, so this was like server 155, and I'm on this account so I do have a rough idea of what is unlocked, as well as the progress of this account after completing campaign. So let's start off with one mistake I see, and that's players trying to force and complete campaign past Hell difficulty stage 12-10 and try to complete so as far as they can, and then it just ends up wasting a lot of energy when they keep reattempting and failing. So the difficulty increase after Hell stage 12-10 is really massive. Sometimes you won't even be able to complete the next stage immediately after it. So honestly, don't concern yourself too much about this. Same with Masters campaign. Just do what you can, and if you get stuck, don't waste any more energy on it. Over time, your account strength will increase and you will naturally be able to complete these stages. However, one thing you can do is go back and complete and 3-star all of campaign up to Hell stage 12-10, and that's to obtain a copy of Catherine as you see over here. So this should be much more achievable, especially being able to 3-star the earlier difficulties. If you are able to complete Hell, you can see this account managed to do it. I only barely managed to complete Hell 12-10, and I was able to 3-star the 3 earlier difficulties. And to 3-star Hell 12-10, well, once again, don't need to rush it, but maybe within a week or even less, you should be able to get strong enough and be able to easily do it. And that's really great because Catherine is a really strong shielder which you can get for free. Besides that, I believe you would unlock the dungeon quest over here. So I don't believe I have it anymore. Oh, well. No, okay, this isn't it, but there should be a beginner quest where there are like 4 weeks, and then the first week, if you complete campaign, which you should within the first 7 days, you do get a hero selection chest, right? And then the second week, I believe you must get a certain number of stars in Tower of Mark to get the hero selection chest, and so on for 2 more weeks after that. So for a free-to-play player, only the second week reward is achievable. After that, the third week and fourth week reward for the hero selection box is not achievable at all for free-to-play players. If you're a spender, maybe it's possible, but even then you will have to spend quite a decent amount. So I wouldn't worry too much about that, but that does segue into the next point I want to make, is that after completing campaign, which should be done within 3 to 4 days, maybe 5 if you're unlucky or you're new to the game and don't have much idea of what you're doing, but once you complete campaign, you should start focusing on your Tower of Mark. So this is really important because Tower of Mark, first of all, being able to farm higher stages will allow you to farm more of these red runes which you can use to improve your talent tree, which gives you free stats. And additionally, at the end of each Tower of Mark, if you're able to clear them, you will be able to get 25 mythic crystals for free. So one other thing after campaign which you should be looking forward to do is get your first mythic hero. So you can get 50 free mythic shards on your 7th day of your account, and then I believe you get 10 for free when you do the beginner quest, which means you do need 40 more, which can be obtained from the various events. So try your best to rank as high in the events as possible. So for example, for this Challenge Netgear event, the first person gets 25 mythic shards. Of course, you don't have to get first, but maybe if you're able to squeeze out, top 10 or even top 20, you can see the shards that you get is pretty decent. So you get 10 over here for top 10, and then the points ranking, you get 3 as well. And then the event points, I believe you also get a bunch as well. So ideally, if you play all your cards right, you can get your first mythic hero in 7 days. But of course, if it takes longer, the 7 to 14 day range, that is perfectly fine too. As for what mythic hero you should get, I see this question asked a lot in the Discord, and they like to say, oh, I have this specific character, should I get something else instead? The answer is pretty much always no. Always pick Nordak. 99.9% of the time, you want to pick Nordak as your first mythic. He is an amazing shooter and better than anything else that you probably have at your stage. There's probably no exception where you don't pick Nordak. Maybe if you are like a crazy spender, you have E3 Sun Wukong, E2 Murongjing, E3 Nicolith, then maybe you can make an argument to get a damage dealer like Nita instead. But even then, I would still say Nordak is worth getting. So no exceptions, pretty much. Always pick Nordak as your first mythic hero. He's a great character. As for what you should get after Nordak, whether you want to raise his exclusives or get another character, It really depends on your situation, and I've made another video covering this, so if you're interested in that, you can go check it out. So besides the mythic heroes, let's perhaps talk about Spire of Fate. And you can see over here, Spire of Fate unlocks in after completing stage 14-10 in Hell mode. And so, once again, when you can, don't need to rush it. Try your best to complete stage 14-10 in Hell mode, and this will allow you to unlock Spire of Fate. So if you don't know what Spire of Fate is, it's a very free-to-play friendly event where you get to use different sorts of heroes, echoes, and spirit beasts for free, and the goal is to rank the highest amongst all other players. So this actually is a very feasible option for you to rank against other players, even as a new player. Of course, you will need to know what you're doing, but of course, once again, that's what sources like the Infinite Magic Discord is for, where you can ask questions and, get advice to play optimally. But the rewards for this are actually pretty good. Every 3 weeks, which is the duration of the event, you do get some legendary hero shards based on your ranking, and I believe some of the options do include characters like Lance, Elise, Reyna, and so on. Maybe not Reyna and Lance, I can't really recall, but Elise definitely is one, and there definitely are other very strong legendary heroes you can get from Spire of Fate. So besides that, let's also talk about, just the regular different modes of content. So that will be Planar Risk, Faction Abyss, Endless Cloister, Dungeons, Elemental City, and 7 Sages of Luli. So for these contents, I'm bunching them all together because, there are lots of different difficulties. And once again, what I'm going to say is that you shouldn't really force and try too hard to, get past a certain stage. For example, maybe you can clear up to stage 25 difficulty in Dungeons, and it may be a bit frustrating for you to try and clear the difficulty above. Maybe it might be too difficult for you. If you ever face these kind of barriers across all these contents, don't worry too much about it, because you simply just need to take your time and improve the strength of your account. And this isn't really something you can rush, especially if you are a free-to-play player. Over time, you'll just naturally get stronger, you get better stats, you have better talents, and suddenly you just realize that, oh, now I'm able to beat this stage. And yeah, so don't really focus too much about it. And one other thing I want to talk about is wishes. So at the early stages of the game, when you're completing campaign, everyone does suggest, okay, you should be wishing, get your food, get all the food to level your heroes, maybe get some more legendary heroes. And that's true, but I would say after completing campaign, you should stop using your miracle wishes, and alongside that, you should try and start saving your gems as much as possible. So this is so that you can save as much miracle wishes as you can, so that when a limited time hero comes, you are able to summon for it. So limited time hero comes at different times during the year, and when I'm making this video, the next one is expected for the game's anniversary, which is the end of August / start of September. But besides that, if you're watching this after that period, we do get limited time heroes during Halloween, so late October, Christmas, which is late December. We also get one for Chinese New Year, which is either the late January to mid-February period. Then we get one for Easter. And finally, we do get one for summer as well, which we got just about 2 weeks ago. So, besides that, for your regular wishes, I would recommend that you actually continue spending them until you have a solid core of legendary heroes to work with. I can't give you, an exact outline of what that means, but once you have, a solid team of 5 heroes, maybe like 4 or 3 legendaries and 2 epics perhaps, or maybe just 5 legendaries, it kind of depends. But once you have a solid core of heroes, that works pretty well across all stages of content, then that's where I would start saving. And you should be saving for either limited time hero reruns, but also you can start saving for things like specific banners with rates up on heroes that you want, and other events such as Double the Legend event, this is a good one, or Gift of Heaven event, which is another good one as well. So next, let's talk about PvP content. So at the early stages of the game, I do believe that you are, even free-to-play players are very able to compete in PvP, and maybe you're even able to place in the higher ranks, maybe like Diamond 2, Diamond 1, or even King tier, if you know what you're doing and you have the right heroes. And I think as a new player, especially as a free-to-play player, this is really, really important, because the early game is when players don't really know what they're doing, or even the pay-to-win players, they haven't spent as much, Even if a player spends like $10 a month over the the months, the difference that they spend compared to a free-to-play player, which is obviously zero, is going to be really massive, right? And the divide between pay-to-win and free-to-play players will only grow. So the early stage of the game is really important because this allows you to get some really good rewards. So for example, top 10 in Classic Arena and Advanced Arena does allow you to get 1 Supreme Rune, which is really significant when it comes every week. And this is also important for events as well, because it's kind of a cyclical process, right? So let's say you place high in the events, you get more resources to work with, you can do more summons, you get stronger heroes and so on, which means for future events, you'll be able to also place high once again, right? But if let's say from the very start, you're placing really low in events, maybe like 1,000 for example, you're getting bad rewards, you have no resources, you can't summon to improve your team, and you're going to be perpetually stuck at the bottom. So the early game is the most important part for free-to-play players to try your best and compete and get as high ranks as possible in both PvP and random events, which there are, to try and get as high as possible to get better rewards so that you can try and keep up for as long as possible. Of course, over time, unfortunately, this is just the type of game where, spenders will eventually become too strong for you to compete. And I think, in my opinion, that you shouldn't really be expecting to compete at a level which a spender is at, right? And I don't think that's a big deal because, in my opinion, you should just be happy with the progress you make, compete with yourself, try and do the best that you can. Eventually, over time, even it's happening for me on my main account, you're gonna slowly go down the ranks to people who simply spend more, maybe people who also get more lucky, and that's not a big deal at all. So that's just the PvP side of things. Try your best to get as high of a rank as you can. Obviously, don't go crazy and, spend all your gems on arena tickets or something crazy like that. Just, try and put the best team that you can. The way to do that, of course, is to ask for advice and so on. If you have the time, of course, manual your fights, because sometimes manualing the fight will allow you to get a better result than doing it on auto. There are different, minor aspects to this, but the main point I'm trying to make is simply do your best for these events. Don't miss and forget to use your tickets and so on. Besides that, honestly, I don't really think there's that much else I want to cover. Honestly, once you complete campaign, which is like the initial marathon sprint of the game, the initial sprint of the game, the rest of the game is a marathon. So you have to take it slowly improve your roster, slowly improve your account strength. And especially as a free-to-play player, just take it one day at a time, complete your daily quests, save your summons. Don't get greedy and, start spending your summons just because you feel like wishing. I know it's very easy to, fall into that feeling, and it's happened to me before. But as far as possible, try and have some self-control, especially for your miracle wishes, and wait for those good limited time hero banners to come out. Besides that, I don't think there's much more I really want to cover. I'm sure that there is more questions that you guys have, because once again, it has been a really long time since my account was new, right? I think I started my main account over 8 months ago now. And so, to be honest, a lot of the the beginner experience is somewhat, muddy in my head. I've kind of forgotten a bit of it. So if there are more questions that you guys have, just ask in the comments and I'll make sure to reply to you and give you the best advice that I can. Or if you don't want to ask in the comments, you can always ask in the Infinite Magicraid Discord, who will also have people that will be able to give you guys great advice. But for now, that's all I have for today, and thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.